Hey, Wild Ones, this is your girl, Taylor Wilde. Just reminding you to please subscribe to the Wild On YouTube channels.
Please, Mr. Please.
Don't forget to rate and review and subscribe wherever you enjoy podcasts. That's right, Wild On with an E.
Just like me.
Today's guest is a woman after my own heart. She returned to professional wrestling after a 4-year hiatus in which she joined the Coast Guard, became a mom, a business owner, and is now juggling all the above in perfect girl power multitasking magic. Ladies and gentlemen, my girl, Amber Rodriguez. So I want to get right into it. You took a 4-year hiatus basically from wrestling to join the Coast Guard.
Yes.
Now, is the Coast Guard something you wanted to do when you were little? Did it just pop up in your later years? Tell me how you got there.
So it was never really something I aspired to do.
Mm-hmm.
It was more of a spur of the moment decision. We all can't wrestle forever, right? As much as we probably want to.
For sure.
Impossible. So I just kind of started thinking about beyond, as far as I didn't finish school, and I just really wanted to have something to kind of go to when my ring time is said and done.
Sure.
And then there was one point in my life in 2015 where I hit probably the worst depression I've ever went through. And unfortunately, I went through a sexual assault situation. And so it just kind of turned me away from the business.
Sure.
And when I was in that funk, my dad is hey, there's always the military. It helped me find myself when I was going through some things. My dad's my best friend.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. And so I'm like, man, that does sound like a good idea. And I didn't want to lay in the sand and get shot at. So I picked the Coast Guard.
Do the same thing, but in the water. That's okay. No, I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah. And then I wanted to come back to wrestling a little earlier, and then I had my bundle of joy.
Can't plan everything.
Yeah. She was definitely a surprise, but that's my other best friend. So
my little guy's my best friend too. Kids are the best. They change your whole life in ways that you had no idea that your life needed changing.
Right. It definitely takes a toll, and you learn patience through them. I know I definitely learned patience, but yeah. And then 2019, I was deployed to California, and there was a wrestling school by my training center. And I was like, man, this is an odd coincidence.
Wow. Synchronicity.
So I started training again, and next thing I know, I'm taking bookings again. And then I kind of looked at it as an opportunity to show my daughter, I went through this really awful thing, but I didn't let it stop me.
Right.
So
let's talk about what the process of becoming a Coast Guard actually is. Is it like becoming a firefighter? For me, it's a very competitive process. You do an aptitude and a physical test, and then there's just the mental aspect of the job where you're one female to every 500 men probably. The fire department in North America is 2% female. So tell me a little bit about the process becoming a Coast Guard.
Yeah, it's definitely very similar. I did volunteer firefighting in high school.
Oh, get out.
Yeah, so I have a small idea of what it's like. But yeah, very similar process. It's the most intense hiring process of your life. I mean, they compare our boot camp to the Marines as the second most intense boot camp. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's an 8-week interview pretty much, and it's very taxing physically and mentally. It has been ranked as the most mentally challenging, and I'm definitely that type of person. Like, I love a challenge, so I'm
Yeah.
like,
Bring it.
Okay, yeah. So it was cool. And yes, being not only a female but a minority female,
Right.
you know, it's very taxing mentally as far as like it being so political. You know, it's a great branch, but there were definitely some obstacles to overcome. And I've definitely put forth a lot. I changed the grooming standards policy to be more inclusive toward minority women. That's something I'm very proud of.
Congratulations. Can you expand on that a little bit? What does that mean for people that don't understand?
So it started, I think I was already 3 years in,
Okay.
and I was called out for or accused of being out of regulations. And, you know, you can't tell me that and then point to examples, and none of these examples look like me. You know, and so I pretty much routed it up the chain, and it went all the way to headquarters, and you know, there's a new policy now and there are more examples of minority women, and just showing the different textures of hair and what being within grooming regulations for us looks like.
Right.
You know,
that's amazing. Good for you.
Thank you.
For, you know, it's not, it's commended to be a trailblazer, but I don't think people understand the mental toll it takes to be that push, and how being that person, being that first person to say what needs to be said can bury your career, really, because you're different. You're pushing the envelope, you're making people uncomfortable, but somebody has to. It starts somewhere. So
yeah, because I could have just
you.
looked at it and gone, oh, whatever, oh well. But then I'm
Yeah.
like, what if my daughter wants to join this branch one day?
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, not only you and your daughter, but for some of our listeners, you know, the men who've only seen the world one way. What about their daughters? What if their daughter's biracial, or, you know, things that maybe they wouldn't consider?
Absolutely.
So well done, sister.
Thank you.
Now, I don't want to, you know, spend too much time in it, but thank you for bravely bringing up the trauma you experienced and the depression and the sexual assault. Would you say that when you joined the Coast Guard, there was a little bit of mental release there? That was a safe place to put that experience?
Absolutely, because it was a shifting gears, if you will. Like, it really went from me living this certain lifestyle with wrestling, you know how that is.
Oh yeah.
To a complete 360, something completely different that I, you know, had never experienced before. So it's like, okay, I can kind of compartmentalize, you know, put this over here and focus on the missions at hand.
Right.
So,
and you know, for me, myself, I talk a lot about spirituality and how finding my spiritual side has really helped me work through, you know, these repressed traumas that maybe conventional therapy can't get into. Do you have any spiritual practices yourself that have?
Yes.
Okay, please tell me.
I am a devoted Christian. And you know, it's like you said, therapy is great, but it sometimes, and, you know, not speaking for everybody, but sometimes it doesn't hit on everything. And so finding your faith, whatever that is, you know, it helps you kind of cover those other areas to where you have something else to lean on, just for that spiritual support and for that emotional support. And, you know, just getting back into church for me, it helps so much.
That's wonderful. I'm so glad to hear that. And that's, you know, it's a perfect recipe, because therapy helped me through some of my darkest times, when you literally you have nowhere else to go. You're at the bottom. But I did therapy for 10 years and it took me this far. And then, you know, like you said, with Christianity, you need something bigger. You need, and I don't want to say a higher power, because that doesn't apply to everybody, but something divine, something that gives you hope, something that gives you energy. So I'm glad to hear you have that in your life.
Absolutely.
And how old is your daughter?
4 going on 14.
Oh my God. So she's a little ball of energy, probably.
That's one way to put it. Yeah.
So how is wrestling different for you this time, post Coast Guard? So now you're kind of like me where, you have this career, very different than wrestling. You're a mom now. You are probably wise beyond your years. And I imagine that looks really different than the Amber Rodriguez that first entered into the world of professional wrestling. How is the second time differing for you?
I am much more mature. Even certain situations I laugh about, whereas me before would have like been really hot-headed, and now I'm just like, whatever, because I had started when I was just 15. Like I was a kid.
God.
I walked away when I was like, I walked away when I was like 21. And so, like coming back into it now, and I'm still 21, by the way.
Yeah, for always. 20 years from now, I'll do the same answer.
Yeah. But coming back into it now, I'm just much more mature and, just driven by something bigger. You know what I mean? Like before I was really working for myself, whereas now I'm working to inspire. I'm working to reach others and uplift others. It's not just about me anymore. And so, just, I'm back at it. And, like I said, just certain things come up and I'm like, not even sweating it. Can you imagine getting upset because someone did the same move as you? So embarrassing.
Oh my God. You know what? That's so Madison Rain, her favorite quote that apparently I said, and I don't really remember saying it. I kind of do because it sounds like something I said, but you'd know yourself. People get really butthurt if you wear their colors that they've always worn or whatever. And she was really new at TNA, and I'd been there for a few years. And she came up to me and she was like, Chantel, like, I know you have purple gear, but I have purple gear. And if it's okay, do you mind if I wear it on the show today? I was like, girl, I did not invent purple. Like, thank you. But don't ever fucking say that again. Like, this is a sisterhood. We are changing what once was. This is better when we're all together. But I couldn't imagine those things that used to matter with age, with where the business is, with how many women there are now. It's just, what a waste of life.
Yeah. And then especially, post speaking out, I noticed like, we really are coming together. Like it really is, a sisterhood. It's, I'm sure you've experienced this a lot more than me, but like, it seems like the first time around I was wrestling, it was kind of catty, you know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas now it's like, we're coming together a lot more, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny you say that. I was just talking to Natty Neidhart about that because she was in WWE when I was back in 2005. And I think the biggest thing is now we have this whole world of female professional wrestlers, whereas back in 2005, like the Attitude Diva era, we had models and pro wrestlers and we were all battling for the same spot. And we had to protect I don't know. It was just, we didn't know where we fit and we were constantly fighting for something that we couldn't change at that time. So I feel like it's much more bonded now. Like everyone just wants to escalate women's wrestling versus competing against each other.
Right. Yeah. And I'm here for it, man.
Me too.
It's a good time. Yeah.
Women's wrestling is in like probably arguably the best place it's been in like 20 years in terms of talent.
Yeah, absolutely.
So where do you draw inspiration from for your wrestling character? Is it film? Is it art? Is it music? Where do you get your character for Amber Rodriguez?
Yes, all of the above. So, but yes, the Mad Esthetician is what I go by. And I kind of pull inspiration from a lot of horror movies. I love a good thriller. And I feel like this character would really be out of touch with reality. Okay. And, then there's kind of that God complex too. Like, I can make you perfect in my image. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love that.
So, yeah, man. And so I really love what Britt Baker is doing. And I was like, I really want this character though, to kind of take it a step further. You know what I mean?
No, it's funny you said that, because that sounded Britt Baker, but different, because you're coming at like an esthetician's kind of vibe versus just dental.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so with being back in pro wrestling, you're also a Coast Guard, and you've developed your own skin care brand. Is that correct?
Yes. Ashley Renee Beauty Company.
So how did that happen, and where do you have time?
I'm still figuring it out. As you can see, I have a lot to juggle.
I hear you, girl.
But yeah, it all kind of works hand in hand, and my merch table is lit.
That would be the coolest merch table. 8x10s, body scrub.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how has the product been doing? Has it gone really well hand in hand with your services and then selling your own product?
Absolutely. Yeah. So really they come and they'll get, like a hydrofacial, and then, I'll use the body butter as a moisturizer post-treatment. And there's a lot of people that get like the non-invasive BBLs or non-invasive lipo or tummy tucks. And then the scrub actually works to exfoliate the area and just kind of bring everything back smooth and, just kind of cleanse.
So where do you have time to train, to put that time into your own fitness and your own mental health time? Where do you squeeze it in? What's your relationship like with the gym?
I make time. Like, I make it a point to work out for at least 45 minutes a day.
Yeah. With wrestling, I always like to pull the curtain back a little bit. Wrestling is this really passionate sport, and it takes a lot out of us emotionally. Has wrestling ever made you cry, whether it's from tears of joy or tears of despair?
All of the above, like both. And, it's one of those things where this is my art, you know what I mean? And, we're all sensitive about our art. And like, there are times where I get so invested into this match, and there's such a big moment, and it just gets me so emotional. Mm-hmm. This past Friday, I wrestled Mia Friday. And, we were in Houston, and it was kind of the payoff to a little feud. And, she got her pin, and I was like, man, like, I'm so proud of this girl. So there's times like that. And then there's times where, you get your hopes up for something, hoping it happens, and it doesn't work out. So yeah, man, like, it's all of the above. This is just such a crazy ride, but I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that's one of my, like, I don't know if it's my favorite question, but I think it normalizes how much wrestling makes us all cry. Like, people see us as these superheroes, and it's this silly sport, but really we're all big suck bags at the end of the day. Like, oh my God, wrestling, it's so hard. What is your favorite wrestling move?
Right now, my finisher is the Unprettier.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for one, just the name, like, especially with me being an esthetician and just having that, like, I can fix you thing, so it just makes sense.
What's your least favorite move to take?
You know what? This is so simple, but I hate hip tosses.
I think a lot of women, I don't know what it is, by the way we take it, we just never take it straight over. And when you take it on the side, it's not a clean bump, and it hurts.
They should just get rid of them.
They should, no more. That's it. Anyways, I like to wrap up every podcast episode with my 10 tailor-made questions. It's kind of like a speed round, but don't feel rushed in your answers. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. What's a beauty product you cannot live without?
Moisturizer.
Any brand specific, or just moisturizer?
Just moisturizer in general. So that's the thing. As an SD, I'm always trying different products, kind of checking out the competition, but also but also just trying different things and seeing what works and what doesn't. So there's no specific brand. I'm for the streets when it comes to that. So.
I like it. What is your favorite exercise?
Ooh, I love any ab workout. I just got my abs back.
Congrats.
So trying to maintain that.
It's not easy.
Just want your picture.
Oh, beautiful. Did you color that or did you draw that? Oh, she can't hear me. I keep forgetting that. What is your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet peeve. I just say like people not coming through with what they say they're going to do. It's really annoying.
Especially because you do so much and I'm sure you give so much of yourself. Like you're just asking for the bare minimum back.
Yes, absolutely.
Who is your celebrity crush?
Michael B. Jordan.
You knew that right away. That was
yes.
What is your
It's going to happen one day.
Manifest, girl, manifest. What is your favorite band or artist?
Ooh, it's a tie between Pearl Jam and All Time Low.
Oh, interesting. An alt rock girl.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay. Do you have a secret vice like drinking a glass of wine in the shower?
Yes, that is literally it. How did you know?
I don't know. Something about service women. Just, you know, you gotta relax and have wine at the same time. You multitasking. That's why.
Yes, and the shower has to be burning hot. Like I read something recently, it was like, I love hot showers. I mean, they're turning like a rotisserie chicken. I was like, same.
There's this like meme where a woman's in the shower and she's like, oh, that's nice. And it's like moderate temperature. And then it's like scalding water and she's just a skeleton. And she's like, perfect. That's me too. What wrestler has the best entrance music?
Ooh, I have to say Edge.
That's a good one. My Canadian homie.
Yeah.
What is your drink of choice?
A good cold glass of Merlot or Malbec.
Okay. Oh, red wine?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What has been your most embarrassing moment in the ring?
Oh, one time I fell on my way to the ring. That was awful. Like I really just wanted to turn around and go home.
So like paint the scene for me. So like your music hit, like tell me what happened.
So, okay. And it goes from bad to worse because I already like, I didn't full on like eat the pavement, but like I stumbled. And to make matters worse, like I used to do a split during my entrance, and this is the reason I don't anymore. Oh. One leg went one way, the other one just completely went backwards.
Oh.
And I almost like murdered a kid in the front row with my butt. So it was just terrible.
I'm sure he would have been fine with it. Where can our listeners find you on the interwebs? What are your social medias?
At one Amber Rodriguez on both Twitter and Instagram, and just Amber Rodriguez, my Facebook fan page, and shop AshleyReneeBeauty.com.
Yes, wonderful. Okay, last one. Finish this lyric. Oh, where can my baby be?
The Lord took her away from me.
Yes, you sing like I do.
Yes.